Hello everybody, welcome to Project Auto. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace the rear auxiliary battery on a Mercedes-Benz. This is for CLS models and E-Class models and maybe a few SUVs. But it'll be any Mercedes model with the auxiliary battery in the trunk. So typically the requirement for this is that your car has stop-start. If it doesn't, then it's likely going to be inside of the dashboard, and that's a smaller battery that's a little different. A good way of kind of determining, which kind it is simply to look at it. So we're going to access the trunk here, and we're going to pull up the cover where the extra wheel well is. So we're just going to bring this up. And you can see this is where the battery will be. It's a little larger than the ones, it's a lot larger than the ones that tuck into the dashboard. Now, you can see here that it's mainly held on by the bracket, and it is the OEM battery that we're looking at. So eventually this will have to get replaced over time, but it's not that difficult at all. So we're going to grab our 10mm socket here, and first what we're going to do is we're going to loosen up the nut for the bracket that is going over the battery that's holding it down. So we're just going to get to cranking that away. And next we're going to loosen up the nut on the negative battery terminal. We always want to start with the negative and then remove the positive. You don't want to start with the positive. Alright, so we're just going to get that out of the way. I'm going to try my best to kind of leave it on the side here. So now we should be able to pull the bracket up freely, and you can see it's just kind of like a clamp style, and you can pull it straight up as much as it goes. And next we're going to just unplug the little gas tube that we have here, and we're just going to put that to the side wherever, as long as it's out of the way. And now we're going to start working on the positive terminal. One thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that the positive terminal isn't going to touch anything metal, because the ground might be still touching a piece of metal or something like that. So you want to make sure that when we take this off, it's not going to be touching anything else. I should note also that you do not necessarily have to unplug your main battery to do this. I would say for your safety, it's always a good idea. I personally didn't, but from what I understood is that it shouldn't really have any effect on the battery back here. So they're kind of independent from one another, and I wasn't too worried according to my research. Once again, though, it never hurts if you really want to unplug the main battery, but of course keep in mind you might lose some memory settings as well. This battery will not affect those whatsoever. So we'll pull off the red terminal here, and we'll just kind of cover it up in our microfiber cloth just to make sure that it's not going to touch anything. And now it should be free to pull out, so you can just pull it straight up, as you can see, and we can compare it now to the other battery. So here we have the OEM battery next to the replacement. So you can see here the part number and whatnot, and kind of the dimensions. There's not really a significant difference here from first look, but the only option other than this is to go the OEM battery route, and that's about $100 some. This battery that I have here is about $40 or so. It is the cheapest option by far. It's going to take a little work here to make work, but you can see dimension wise it is the same, and of course it's 12 volts and whatever. The specs are all the same on it, so really it's pretty much almost identical, with the exception of these little terminals. So here where the terminal screws in, you can see it has threads, so it'll just screw right in. These do not. because these are kind of multi-purpose batteries, to say the least, so they can go into various other vehicles. So included is a set of some square nuts and 2 little bolts, and they're the exact same thread at it as what is used on the original. So we can take a look here. This is the replacement bolt, and here is the replacement nut. Now what we're going to do, because it's pretty much the same, is we're going to try and throw it on the OEM bolt, and you can see here that it works just fine. So there's no need, if you don't want to use the new bolts. You can just use the nuts to go along with it. So as you can see, I'm putting it in right now. That is the wrong direction, as I learned, to put it in. You're actually going to have it kind of vertically. So if it doesn't work lengthwise, you put it in the short way, and that's how you're going to get it to sit in there. Otherwise it will keep moving. So if you're trying and it keeps like falling or something like that, rotate it, and it's likely the other direction that you're going to be using. Otherwise it'll just keep moving. So we've kind of skipped ahead here. I've kind of reattached everything. It's more or less the opposite of uninstalling it. And so last thing that's going to go on here is the negative battery terminal. And you can see here the nuts aren't always going to completely line up, so you might just want to take a little something to poke it and try and get it a little straight. And once you start screwing into it, it'll kind of line itself up. And so we're going to get that on there. Once again, just use the 10. And it's very easy. And this simple little change is going to save you almost $100 when it comes to doing this battery replacement. Frankly, I don't think this battery is too important. It just has those small functions like stop start, of course, eco hold, or not eco hold, brake hold, and it's mostly related to the convenience features. So you can see here now we've gone back to the main dashboard, and you can see that there are no errors appearing on the screen. So mission accomplished. The last thing I'm going to show you guys here is the page of the website. This is what it looks like. I'll put a link in the description. This was the battery that I used. Kind of what gave me the confidence here was there were a couple of reviews saying that this was an appropriate replacement battery. Some people, every bad review, there were a few bad reviews, were people who didn't know how to put it together. So hopefully this kind of broke it down for you a little bit, but it was a really simple DIY in and out, and you save quite a bit of money. So hope this helps you guys out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.